Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy Fnatic, and I'm back with yet another schedule preview, this time of the Ohio State Buckeyes. So they had Urban Meyer and Dwayne Haskins last year, a great QB coach matchup. Well, both of them are gone now. Dwayne Haskins got drafted 15th overall in the draft. Urban Meyer retired. He may come out of retirement, but I highly doubt he will ever go back to Ohio State. So the Urban Meyer era is done. It is now the Ryan Day and Justin Fields era. So Justin Fields was a 5-star recruit. He went to Georgia. He didn't like what he had there, transferred to Ohio State. There was this big controversy with, I think, racism that happened there. I don't personally believe it. You might. I just don't really believe Georgia would be a place for racism. But nevertheless, that doesn't matter now. He has been cleared to play for Ohio State. So is he going to be able to be on the level as Dwayne Haskins? And is Ryan Day going to be able to coach on the level as Urban Meyer? And is Ohio State going to be able to keep up the success that they have had in the past under Urban Meyer? Let's find out. So Ohio State starts off the year against FAU. FAU is actually a pretty good, pretty solid team. Do I think they're going to be able to keep up with teams like Ohio State? No. But for what FAU should be, they're actually a pretty good team under Lane Kiffin. But enough about that. We all know that Ohio State's going to get the win here. So against Cincinnati, this is a very interesting game. Cincinnati is actually a pretty decent team. Again, they're kind of like FAU. They're pretty good for where they should be. But will they be able to keep up with teams like Ohio State? For FAU, absolutely not. Cincinnati, I think we could actually carry on a discussion about this, but I'm going to go with the safer bet. I'm going to go with an Ohio State victory. Not many people would disagree with me on that. So in their Big Ten opener, they are on the road against Indiana. Indiana's just a team that's probably 8-4 is their ceiling. They're not really invested in football. They're a basketball school. Ohio State's a football school. Not much more needs to be said. I think Ohio State is the clear victor in this game. Miami of Ohio, I think we all know who wins that game. Miami of Ohio obviously is going to be the victor in that one. First loss of the season for Ohio State. I am joking, of course. I think Ohio State wins that one as well. So now they are on the road against Nebraska. I think this is one of the most possible games that they could lose this year. You know, I'm a big fan of Nebraska. I think Nebraska might even make a New Year's Six Bowl. I think Nebraska will probably be in the Big Ten Championship, Big Ten West winners. But if you have seen my Nebraska schedule preview, go check that out. And as a matter of fact, go check out all my other schedule previews, please. But I do think that Ohio State's going to be able to beat Nebraska, barely though. I think this is going to be a close game down to the end. I just don't think Nebraska is quite talented enough. I don't think they have enough depth to hang with Ohio State for 4 quarters and defeat them, but I do think it'll be a pretty close game. So Michigan State, this is going to be probably a just slow, ugly game, kind of like it was last year. Close game for first half and maybe even 3 quarters, but I think Michigan State doesn't have an offense that can really compete with Ohio State. I think Ohio State's going to distance themselves in the second half and more specifically the 4th quarter, and I think Ohio State's going to get an ugly win against Michigan State. So coming off of a bye against Northwestern, this was actually the Big Ten Championship last year. This is a Big Ten Championship rematch. Ohio State won that one. I think Ohio State will win this one. They're coming off of a bye, so even though they're on the road, I think they're going to be well prepared. They're going to come out. It's going to be kind of similar to the Big Ten Championship, a close game for the first half, and Ohio State would just kind of separate for the second half. It won't be a blowout, but it'll be a pretty convincing win, in my opinion, for Ohio State or over Northwestern as they win the rematch of the Big Ten Championship. So they're at home against Wisconsin. I think this is kind of going to be similar to the Michigan State game. This will be a close, kind of low-scoring, ugly football game, which will kind of distance will be created between Ohio State and Wisconsin in the second half, and again more in the 4th quarter. I think Ohio State wins this ugly game against Wisconsin. Wisconsin, Again, this was actually a Big Ten rematch from 2 years ago, so back-to-back games is back-to-back Big Ten rematches from back-to-back years. And I think Ohio State won both of those games, and they're going to win both of these games as well. So coming off of a bye, they're at home against Maryland. They're coming off of a bye. Rutgers is up next, so they're going to be giving their 100% attention to Maryland. And especially after last year, especially after the near disaster last year, Maryland and Ohio State actually went into overtime. It was an incredible game. Ohio State survived that, and I think they're going to bring their A game and blow out Maryland here as they head on to Rutgers. Rutgers is the worst team in the Big Ten. I don't think many people are going to disagree with me on that necessarily. Even though they're on the road, that's not going to make a difference. It won't make a difference whether you're on the road or at home. A trashy team's a trashy team. Sorry, Rutgers fans. There's probably not many of you here because there's probably not many Rutgers fans left. And why would there be whenever you were as terrible as Rutgers? So the Rutgers trash talk is over as we move on to Penn State. So Ohio State, this is kind of an interesting game because some people could say it's kind of a sandwich game. I don't believe so. I think that Ohio State knows what Penn State can do, knows the history of the rivalry, and they're going to focus 100% on Penn State. I think Ryan Day is going to have this team in the right mindset to go in here and defeat a team like Penn State. Now, I do think this game will be competitive. I think it's going to be a close game. I do think Ohio State is going to survive against Penn State. You notice the key word is survive. I think Penn State's going to come out and compete for 4 quarters with Ohio State. It's always a close and entertaining game, especially over the past couple years between Penn State and Ohio State. Last year, the incredible comeback for Ohio State to beat Penn State was incredible. And then obviously a couple years earlier, Penn State's win over Ohio State basically confirming that they were back. Ohio State's close field goal win. This is just an incredible rivalry that produces incredible games, so I don't think Ohio State's going to look over that. I think Ohio State's going to get the win over Penn State. So as they go into the Big House, the final game of the year, Ohio State looking to go 12-0 against Michigan, who I think will have 2 losses at this point. This is the biggest game of Jim Harbaugh's career at this point. If Jim Harbaugh doesn't win this game, he's never going to beat Ohio State, and he'll probably be on the hot seat if he doesn't win this game. And that's why I think Jim Harbaugh is going to bring the best of his team. They're going to finally come up with a game plan to stop Ohio State. It won't be a blowout. It won't be more than a 1-possession win. I think this is a 50-50 game, but I am going to go with Michigan. If I was more confident in Justin Fields and Ryan Day, I would feel way more comfortable with giving Ohio State the 12-0 season and giving them the win here. But I just know what I get with Michigan. I don't really know what I get with Ohio State. So I'm going to go with the slightly safer bet and giving Michigan the win here as Ohio State falls to 11-1. So Ohio State ends out the year 11-1 as they miss out on the Big Ten championship. Have no fear, Ohio State fans. I still think you're going to make a New Year's Six Bowl. I still think this is technically probably a successful year for you guys. It's no Urban Meyer season, and I don't think you guys are going to have the success that you guys had with Urban Meyer, but I do think you guys are going to be a successful top 15, top 10 program every year, but I'm not sure you guys are going to be top 5 national title caliber program every year. It'll be a drop-off, a noticeable drop-off, but not as huge as a drop-off as most people think. I think Ryan Day is taking over a fabulous Ohio State team, and at least for this year, there won't be a huge drop-off. Justin Fields, I don't really know what I have in him. If I was more confident in his abilities, I might give Ohio State the 12-0 season. I think I might even give them the Big Ten championship and send them to the playoffs, and maybe who knows what they do once they get in the playoffs. They're crazy once they get in the playoffs. I mean, they had that miracle year where they won the national title, and then the year afterwards they lost in a huge blowout against Clemson, so you never know what to expect from Ohio State whenever they get into those big games. But I just don't have the confidence in Justin Fields and Ryan Day as much as I have in Jim Harbaugh and Shea Patterson. So that's why I give Michigan the win against them. Is this to say that I don't think Ohio State could go 12-0? I think it's very possible. I think I would give them about a 40% chance to go 12-0. It's a 50-50 game against Michigan, but then again, there's some other 50-50 games on here like Penn State and Nebraska. So it's very possible that they could fall to 9-3. I don't think that'll happen. I think the lowest they'll go is probably 10-2. But I am going to go 11-1. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. But then again, I don't think they're going to fall below 10 wins by any means. So it's going to be interesting to see the future of this Ohio State program. Is addition by subtraction by losing Urban Meyer going to work? Because they do often have one really bad loss every year. I mean, the Iowa loss, the Purdue loss, they usually have that one really bad loss against the average Big Ten opponent. They usually keeps them out of the playoffs because they're usually Big Ten champs and they're usually only one loss. So the only reason they're not in the playoffs every year is because they usually have that one bad loss. And you notice this year, their only loss was a close one-possession loss to a top 10 team in Michigan. So there wasn't really a bad loss on the schedule. So maybe for Ohio State, losing Urban Meyer is a good thing. Maybe they hit the restart button and build their program back even stronger. Who knows? It's going to be very, very interesting to see the future of Ohio State. It could go either way. It could go really bad or really good. They could be one of the next dynasties, or they could fall into just another average team back before Urban Meyer got there. Ohio State fans, please let me know down in the comments below what you think the future of this team is. If I was an Ohio State fan, I'd be scared and excited. I'd feel all of the emotions if I was an Ohio State fan. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all my other college football content, especially my schedule previews. Those, if you guys are college football fans and you guys want to know my take on what a lot of teams will be doing. I'm doing kind of, the main teams that most people are concerned about. I'm not doing just, basic teams like Purdue that nobody really cares about. No shade to Purdue. No shade to Purdue at all. But I'm doing the main kind of top 20 teams that most people actually care about. So if you guys are into that, make sure you guys go check that out. So I'm going to stop rambling. Have an amazing day, and peace.